guys, my name is Hope Sledge. I am a freshman at Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I graduated from Blackman in May of 2019, and I'm in my second semester here at Western. Today I just wanted to come on here to talk to you guys about the transition that I had from high school to college and how God has helped me through that and impacted me through that, and also how it's helped me by being an athlete, or this could go for being involved in a club, just being involved in your school. So yeah, first I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me, and then we'll get into what I'm talking about later. So I lived in Tennessee up until I came to college. I lived in one house until I was 2, and the next house from 2 years old to moving to a dorm, which is where I'm at now. I'm actually in the bathroom. But yeah, so I was very comfortable with where I lived. I knew everybody, or most of the people. I never really had to restart. I was super close to everybody that went to my church and everybody that went to my school, everyone on my cheer team. We all came from similar beliefs and backgrounds and had similar morals and things like that. So it was super easy for me to be able to talk about God and talk about my faith in those situations because I was so comfortable around those people. I've been going to the same church, New Vision Baptist, since I was 2 months old, since New Vision was actually held in a house. And now it's this big, massive church with so many people in it, which I think is totally awesome, how quickly it's grown. When I was 13 to 15, my family kind of stopped going to church, and I still wanted to go to church, but I really had no way of getting there and going. I could have asked friends, but I was just shy and scared to, I guess, which I don't recommend. So if you're ever nervous to go to church, ask the person that's sitting beside you right now to go with you. They'll go. I promise. They'll be fine. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of fell off since my family fell off. And by the time I was 15, I started to watch Sunday mornings a lot more, on my laptop or on my phone or something like that. Literally when I was doing anything. If I was just sitting in bed or taking a shower, getting ready for the day, I would turn on the live stream for Sunday mornings with Pastor Brady. And then by the time I turned 16, I started to drive to Wednesday nights. And I would take a couple of my friends, and we would just grab ice cream or dinner before or after church, and it was a way to get more of my friends to come, and it was a comfortable environment for me because I was surrounded by people my age who went to my school or who I had gone to school with in the past. So I was all of this that I'm explaining is all showing you guys that I was very comfortable in my environment. I never had to step out and do anything or do anything that I was afraid of because I was always surrounded by Christians or people who were open to hearing about Christianity and things like that. So coming to college was completely different. I came to college by myself, pretty much. I knew one girl, and she's my cousin, and we didn't really talk before we came to college, but we're actually pretty close now, which I think is really great. But yeah, there was one other girl from Blackman that came to Western, and I haven't talked to her before. I don't even know her name. So I was pretty much alone coming here. I had a random roommate, and I just kind of stepped completely out of my comfort zone, went out on a limb, and chose Western. In the fall, it was very difficult for me because I knew nobody, and I wouldn't say I got depressed, but I definitely did get very lonely at school, and I only put school first. I didn't want to go out of my room. I didn't want to go make friends because I felt so alone. And looking back on it, it was one of the dumbest things that I could have done. I'm absolutely awful at making these kinds of videos. Even just talking, public speaking scares me. But I'm pulling up on my computer this website that I found. Well, it's an article that I found about how to navigate being a Christian and a student athlete. So let me get into that. The first question on this article says, how do you define yourself? Like, when someone asks you what you are, what you do, who you are, what do you say? Because I know that I say, oh, I'm a cheerleader, I cheer at Western. I don't say, oh, I'm a Christian, or anything like that. That's never the first thing to come up in a conversation, like it should be. And it's just the time that we live in. Like, no one introduces themselves based on their religion. So it's definitely not an easy thing to talk about with everyone, and I've definitely realized that since I've been a freshman in college, because there's a lot of people here that don't have the same beliefs as me, and I'm too scared to be able to, I was too scared to be able to, like, open up and share my faith with everybody. But that did all change one day when I was still too scared to say it in person. But I did send a long text message to my teammates. We were getting really close to national season, and it was just, like, full of Bible verses and what I thought they meant to me in, like, cheer world and how I thought they related. And it gave me an opportunity to show my love for Christ and what Christ can do for our team and stuff like that, which I was scared of before. But since I did it in a way that was a little bit like the easy route, but at the end of the day, like, I still did that. I still shared my faith with them, and I got a lot of, like, positive feedback. And after that, we started praying together, like, before we would throw our routines and stuff like that. So I feel like that moment really, like, brought the team together, and it made me feel a lot more, like, accepted on the team, and less, like, in the background, I guess. So I'm gonna go back to this article. Sorry, I'm literally so, like, sporadic. My mind goes everywhere. I'm so bad at these. But one of the other questions on here was, like, what does giving the glory to God, like, really mean? Because when you say, like, oh, I'm giving all my glory to God, I'm giving all the glory to God, sometimes that is very true, and sometimes, like, that really is the answer. But there's other times when, like, as an athlete, it's hard to not be prideful or, like, excited about your own success and take in your own success instead of giving your successes back to God. God bless you with those talents and those moments, and instead of being able to give the glory to God, you kind of, like, take a little bit of it away from Him and, like, are prideful of yourself, which I always catch myself doing that. Even if I say that I give the glory to God, like, part of me is like, oh no, I did this, which as you can see in Isaiah 43, 6 through 7, God created us for His own glory. So He did create us to, like, have successes and be successful, but at the end of the day, we are here to glorify everything that God is. And through all of our talents and successes, we should give all of that back to Him and not be, I don't want to say conceited, but selfish to keep it as an earthly success. Let's see. Okay, so another thing that I have found, like, I read in this article that was super interesting, was that athletes usually, like, they'll say Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, which is a really popular verse, and it's a really good verse, but people don't take that as, like, contentment. Instead, they say, like, I can do all things through God who strengthens me, which means that they use that as, like, a goal to go for, instead of saying, like, in this moment I can do all things. Whatever He is giving to me, I can do. He strengthens me. The real promise of this verse is when you stop needing people's approval, like coaches or teammates, you can further a relationship with God, which will lead to contentment, is what this says. And I totally agree with that. The want for contentment is a good thing, but we need to achieve this through Christ and not exterior things like sports. Even though sports will help us, we still need to be able to achieve that as our own person and not as an athlete sometimes. Okay. This part really got me. So in a sport, it's all about winning, really. It's all about getting your name out there, being number one, working hard all season, working hard throughout the season to be number one. Like in cheerleading, I know at Blackman it was always, if you're not first, like you're last, basically, is how we felt sometimes. Like if you don't win, then you didn't really place. But I saw this thing and it was completely like mind-blowing for me. And it says, the lie that we believe is that Philippians 4:13 means that I can achieve any outcome in my sport because of Christ. What we really need to think about is that we can have contentment regardless of the outcome. So, like, being content with second place, third place, last place, because that is what Christ set for you, and he always has a plan. So whatever you do, even if you're not first, you still glorify that to God. Like, he still gave you the opportunity to be able to be in that sport and be healthy and be able to compete or play or like whatever it is for that sport. So yeah, that was all that I kind of found from that article, but it really did intrigue me and it helped me a lot to kind of like come up with this. So now I'm going to do a part like 3 so I could get my thoughts together a little bit more and try and match these videos together. As a freshman in college, God has allowed me to be a light to others, especially being a cheerleader. Like, as a cheerleader, you're at all the games. You're at different community events. You're doing things. So, like, a lot of people will see your face. They'll recognize you when they're walking by you at the student union building or in the hallways or anything like that. Like, if you play a sport or you're involved in a club, there's a good chance that someone recognizes you and looks up to you as a leader. And so they're looking to you to see what kind of personality you have, what do you do that's different than normal. Like, so the presentation is really important, like presenting yourself in a positive way, being compassionate to others no matter like who they are or what they've done to you, showing love and kindness in like everything that you do for others. And all the basic things that you should be doing. But by being an athlete, you just have a bigger, I don't want to say that you have a bigger platform because I don't want to say that, but people do have more exposure to you. They do see you more often. They see your face, they know your face. They're going to be more likely to follow what everyone else is doing. And since you have this tiny bit of publicity, it's a good thing to be able to use that to your advantage to glorify God. So that's really mainly how God has helped me reach out to others and just like show others my genuine personality in college, which ultimately led me to being accepted into a sorority here for the spring semester because I got really lonely during my fall semester and I didn't make many friends. But since the spring, I have joined, like, I got a bid to a sorority here, and I've already, like, met a ton of nice people, and they all glorify God, and I'm just really excited to grow in that with those girls. So there's a lot of good things coming for me. Basic tips. 1, don't be scared of your faith. I know it's really hard, and I know it's really scary to, like, be able to go up to someone and tell them about God, but try to do that sometime this week. And it doesn't even have to be like something major and extreme. Like, just sit down next to somebody this week and have a conversation about God, even if you don't like know that they're a Christian, you're not for sure, or if they're like dipping into Christianity, like they want to know a little bit more. Have a conversation with them about your own experiences with God. Number 2, for seniors, when you're going to college, don't be scared to meet new people and make new friends. It's gonna be a little bit intimidating at first if you're even the least bit shy, because if you go to a school where you're alone, you're like actually alone. Like, mom and dad leave you that night and you sleep alone with either a random roommate or a friend, but like you're there.